So you've done the work. You did the work. You made those changes, and you are now the character that you choose to be in your life. You are now empowered. You make decisions based upon the strength that you have internally, and you don't depend on no one else. But now, since you've made those changes to that script, right? You're now faced with going back home for vacation, or just being in a setting where you're around all these different people that you know, family and friends, and now you're stuck with the feeling that reflects that old script. You're in that moment feeling like that angry teenager or that people pleaser. And so what do? Do you pick up that old script, or do you pick up the script that you've already have, which is the script of empowerment? When you feel a certain way around certain people, the whole cause and effect, because people can't make you feel any kind of way. You have the choice to make yourself feel however way you choose to. But when you decide that you don't want to pick up that old script anymore and you have this other character forcing it on you, what do? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Living Intentional. This is the podcast where we move from being passive characters to the main creators of our story. We could be whoever we want to be. I'm your host, Goddess Day, and today we are testing your ultimate strength of what you've learned thus far. Quick side note, this is an episode that gives advice mainly for adults seeking boundaries, healthy boundary setting. This is not for kids, not for anyone underage. And you know what underage mean when you're under 18. So please use your discernment. And of course, if you need help, if you feel as though you're not in a safe position to make boundaries, go and seek the help that you need. You have health professionals, you have counselors, therapists. They can support you. Just understand that I am not a professional, so go seek that professional help that you may need. I only share from my personal experience because I've been there. I've been on this journey where I have gotten tired of that old storyline and I'm choosing to change it. And you have the right to do so as well. So I'm offering you the tools in which I use so you could be able to rewrite your story as well. Be who you want to be, not who you were painted to be. I have to go back to the story of my dad. My dad is a very proud Nigerian, and he works. He works day, he works night. Man, he'll even work 7 days a week sometimes. It's not just the Jamaicans that be overworking themselves, they be the African people too. When he would work, he's taking care of his family at home. And then he would also be taking care of his family in Nigeria, which is fine. Take care of your family, right? You know, it's culture, it's what you do. But it makes me think about the story of the fisherman. And so let's say you have this one family who, let's say, they don't have the means of taking care of themselves. So they really depend on this fish that he's, bringing in. So what happens when this fisherman is no longer available to fish? What if he's not even on this plane of Earth anymore? And you know where I'm getting at. What happens, right? That family goes hungry, don't they? I mean, they would have never taught to fish. They was only given the fish. If he taught the family how to fish, then they would be empowered, right? They'd be empowered to fish for themselves and have plenty again for themselves, right? Now, I'm not saying don't provide for your family, don't feed your family, don't help and feed others. I am not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that when you give the tools of empowerment for how they could do it themselves, you've given them way much more than just giving them something. What I'm saying with the story is that my dad was carrying everyone. I mean, his siblings, his mom, his dad, parents, fine. They're older. You want to help them out. Cool. But your siblings, too, they're on the same journey you're on. They have the ability to help for themselves. Now, if someone's having a tough time, I'm not saying to go help them, but to be the continuous source of income, that makes no sense. And I mean, that makes no sense because you're continuing to pull off of this person, and this person is willing to shoulder all of it, even if it breaks them down. Now, it's his choice to make, of course. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not also saying that it's right too. I'm saying that there's a way to go about that rather than shouldering everything, because who does it really benefit? It benefits them, sure, but like in a short term. It's very short sighted if you get where I'm coming from. So, the moral of the story, pass the rod. Pass the rod so they can learn. Pass the rod so it can teach, you know? But here's the complex truth, right? Before you're a man, a woman, a daughter, a son, a caregiver, a provider, before all of that, you're a person first. You are a human being. We all have feelings, we all have thoughts, we all have emotions, we all have spirit. Providing a roof and food for someone is foundational, absolutely, but it really doesn't give a person a right to disregard another person's spirit. You should never allow a person to disrespect you, belittle you, and treat you as if like you're nothing, like you're the stepping stool to their ego. Even if someone has some type of unresolved pain or issue that they're having, you are not an emotional punching bag, and you don't have to take that. This isn't about rebellion, this is about the truth. We could argue that as culture. We could argue that, oh, this is the way this person is, or this is the way things are because it's society, right? But you are a person of high value. You are God's child first. And if you don't believe in God, or maybe you believe in some other higher power, maybe you believe in the universe, maybe you believe in maybe just yourself, right? For example's sake. At the end of the day, God is within you. And so that's why a lot of the times when I do these affirmations, I say that I am the embodiment of God. Therefore, you have your moral compass within you. God is within you. Don't allow nobody to disrespect you because, like I said, you are of high value. You are to be respected because it is your birthright, just like abundance is. But as far as respect and as far as having dignity, that's part of your birthright, sweetie. Get with it. Don't ever allow somebody to talk down to you and tell you that you're not enough. And examples of that, for, example's sake, right? I was at a point where I was at my breaking point. You can't keep talking down to me and expect me to be able to talk to other people with a sense of leadership. Let me give you a beautiful example. When you see Jay-Z and Beyonce, or you see President Obama, I know he ain't the president no more, but he's my president. When you see President Obama or any other person of a higher status, right? Do you see someone talking down to them? I just had to take a moment of silence just to see, like, I mean, can you think of one? Do you see, like, let's say the highest entertainers like Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, or I mean, I love bringing up Brandon Carter. Do you think that someone is talking garbage to these people even though that you're doing your best and you're trying? Well, I don't want to say trying, because when you're in the energy of trying, are you looking to succeed? You're looking to see your odds. Let's get out of that energy. You're pushing through, doing the best that you can, and you're getting certain results. Whatever the results are, not your fault. Now, only thing you can do is when you're getting certain results and it's considered failures, right? Quote unquote. All it tells you is that you just have to do something better. Maybe you have to go at this angle a bit differently. Let's say jobs, right? Because we're in a really tough job economy. So let's say that the things that you're doing at this moment that may not be aligning with the result that you're looking for, maybe you have to take a different stance. Maybe you have to look at what your other options are. Maybe this particular thing you're going in for isn't it. What are you good at? But I'm not going to dive any more deeper into that because that'll be a different episode. But let's say you're doing all of that, and this man who happens to be your father is telling you that everything you've done isn't good enough. Giving unsolicited advice to an adult, to a 30 something year old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure maybe for some that's normal. Maybe for some, that's like, hey, you take it with a grain of salt. But when someone's continuously drilling you with something, that's not advice anymore. That's someone trying to control you. I'm thinking back to the time of my wedding, right? When someone says, oh man, you've gained weight. It happens. People say things that they notice. Okay, yay, ha ha ha, moving on. But every time they see you, they're telling you, oh, you're fat. Oh, you need to lose weight. Oh, and it just seems to be the topic of conversation. And we're just getting like mean girl energy out here. Like, how helpful is that? Is that loving? Is that a place of love? Should a person sit here and continue to allow that? I don't think so. I don't think so. God didn't put me here for that. And God ain't put you there for that either. Well, here. To be disrespected. You know what I mean? No one is to be a verbal and emotional punching bag. I do not think so. And if those people who are in higher positions aren't going to allow it, you shouldn't allow it either. And it doesn't matter about class, status, and all of that. You're still a person in the end. Before anything, you are you and you are to be respected. And I'm pretty sure if God held a throne in the physical, in human body, sitting at a throne, I don't think someone would talk to him that way. So don't allow someone to talk to you that way. Moving on. One other thing I do want to mention is that when it comes to respect, it does not matter about the age. It does not matter about status or whatever, right? Of course, when you're in a job place, you play the role of whatever your position is, and there's this culture of respect. But when I'm talking from mutual person from one to another, you want and you demand respect, and you need to. If you don't, take up space. You are the person in the room. Don't just cower to what everybody else wants to do. And yeah, I use that word. I've been guilty of that as well. But you need to have and receive respect, so you know what that looks like. So when you put something out there, it reflects back to you. So if you're putting out respect, why would you want disrespect to come back to you? That doesn't match. Like attracts like. Remember that. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't offer healthy respect from a place where your dignity is constantly being tested. So going back to that script that you done worked on and you're like, yo, I'm empowered. I don't do that BS no more. I'm not people pleasing. I'm not yelling at people or being whatever character I choose not to show up as, right? You done did the work. But now you got somebody trying to enforce that old narrative. Now, the old script don't just show up when you're just happy go lucky. I mean, sometimes it can. It don't just happen in arguments. It absolutely don't. It just shows up. You need to acknowledge it and put your foot down, because all it's there to do is sabotage your joy. I'll give you another example. Now, I wanted to make sure that I get all this story in because I wrote everything down. So you'll see me occasionally look at my paper. Imagine a father's at his daughter's wedding, one of the most significant, joyful times of her life. And he decides to weaponize his silence. He chooses not to speak to her. In that moment, the celebration isn't about her worth. It becomes a stage for his punishment. And so, for that moment, that's a script that screamed, you are still lesser than, and you should know your place. It's the ultimate reinforcement of the old story that your value is conditional and can be revoked at any time. In that moment, or in 1,000 quieter moments, you'll have to make a choice. Either pick up that old script and say your lines, or do you just close that book and choose yourself and your new lines? Shut it down. Now, going back to me, right? That meant me ending the relationship with my dad. And it was not out of anger. It was the necessary separation that I felt that I needed. And it came with severance pay, for real, which was my piece. No one should be a reason why you can't be at peace. If you can't be at peace, then something's wrong and you need to fix it. You cannot make a new life of intention and worth while remaining in the same environment that just actively dismantles it. You cannot heal from the same place that made you sick. Just know that if you are the viewer or the listener of this and you are going through anything like that, yeah, if or when you get rid of them, don't bring them back. I learned that lesson. Because I made it clear about what I was not okay with, and he clearly disregarded it. It is what it is. It doesn't matter about title. It's my piece, and it should be your piece as well. So when you're faced with any situation that could be coming, or, if you're making a change, it's possible that it's going to happen. People are going to expect you to show up as the person who you always have, whether it's the person that always gets upset or whatever. Choose to be a different person. Choose to be a different person today and moving forward. It's a commitment to yourself. So I ask you this question. When you're faced with a challenge like that, hopefully you aren't faced with a challenge, anything like that. But when you're faced with a challenge that puts you into question, or if you play the old role, or if you play this new role that you now choose to step in, what script do you pick up? Now for your intention this week. We're going to do the safety first boundary. This must be done with your discernment of safety first. And I have a few steps for you. The safety and readiness check. Before anything, ask yourself, am I physically and emotionally safe to speak my mind here? If the answer is no, then your only action is to make a silent plan. Plan your removal. Your peace is within your power. And sometimes that power is exercised through strategic, quiet distance until you can get to a safer place. If you are underage, like I said, or in a violent situation, just make sure that your priority is your safety first. Again, your priority is to find a trusted adult, counselor, or therapist who can help and support you to navigate this. You don't have to do this alone. Step 2, anchor your true identity. When you're in a safe headspace, whisper to yourself that you are a child of God. You are a person first. I am worthy of respect. This anchors you for the change, and it encourages you with the power to do so. So I'm going to say it again, but a bit differently. I am a person first. I am a child of God, and I am worthy of respect and exchange. I am worthy of that. So, like I said, it anchors you and it gives you the power to move forward. Step 3, choose your response. From a place of safety and strength, you have these options. If you are in a situation that's not violent or, your safety is in question, you can calmly say something like this: I understand you feel that way, but I feel differently. Here goes another one for you. I can't continue this conversation if you're going to talk to me in that way. Then take a step back. Or if they're just in a point where they're just having verbal diarrhea, where they're just yelling, da 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 da, just abruptly interrupt the conversation, even if it's with a lie. Say you gotta go somewhere, you got something to do. I gotta go. Bye. Don't sit there and keep taking that. Don't allow the disrespect. Don't allow someone to belittle you. Don't allow it. Cut it at its source. Dead it. Put your foot down. Now, if it's a place where you want to come from, you know, a place of love, which you should in all aspects, in my opinion, that's only if you choose that, right? Free will. You could just say, you know what, I love you, but I'm not going to allow you to keep talking to me like that. And I cannot choose to continue to be around if this is how you choose to show up with me. My peace is non negotiable. Remember that your peace is within your power. So protect it with this wisdom. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What did you think about this episode? And I have an affirmation for you if you like it. I am creating healthy boundaries. Put that right in the comments today if you are with it. I am making healthy boundaries. Again, I know I've been very redundant with this, but I want to make sure that a lot of my beautiful viewers understand to please make sure you're using discernment where you're doing these things within your safety. And yeah, You are the author of your life. You're the creator. Create what you want moving forward. Be the guardian of your peace and protect that inner child. Until next time, stay intentional.